Hello everyone, my name is Jula Kate Takayama and I am from grade 10 Omega and I will be discussing all about Korea. First, we're going to talk about the history for both Koreas. 80 on the Korean Peninsula, numerous rival kingdoms were merged into one dominion in
너 정말 등청 안
668.
할 거야?
For over 1,000 years, successive administrations maintained Korean political and cultural independence. The Joseon dynasty was the last of these reigning kingdoms on 1392 to 1910. Korea chose to minimize its interactions with the outside world after surviving invasions by Japan at the end of the 16th century and the Manchus of East Asia in the early 17th century. Following that, there was a 250-year-old period of tranquility, with few Koreans leaving their isolated homeland. This began to alter in the late 1800s, when Western nations such as United Kingdom, France, and the United States attempted but failed to create commercials and diplomatic connections with Korea. Culture and arts for both Koreas. Korea's people have established a unique culture based on their exceptional creative sensibility since their initial settlements in prehistoric times. The peninsula's geographical characteristics allowed Koreans to absorb both continental and maritime cultures as well as abundant resources, resulting in the formation of unique cultures of interest and importance to the rest of humanity, both then and now. At the present time, Korean arts and culture are attracting many enthusiasts around the world. Korea's cultural and artistic achievements through the ages are now leading many of its young talents to the world's most prestigious music and dance competitions, while its literary works are being translated into many different languages for global readers. Recently, Korean Donseokwa, or monochrome paintings, have become the talk of the global art world. The global K-pop frenzy peaked in August 2020, when BTS, a South Korean boy band, became the first all-South Korean act to top the Billboard Hot 100 Songs list with its first all-English language single, Dynamite. BTS was also the first all-South Korean group to top the Billboard Hot 100 since 1963. Rather than being a triumph of a single group, this result demonstrates K-global pop's popularity, which includes the United States, South America, and Europe, as well as Japan, China, and Southeast Asia. In the same vein, music videos by K-pop singers such as Blackpink, a South Korean group, have racked up massive views on YouTube and have become increasingly popular. Introduction for South Korea. South Korea, an East Asian country located on the Korean Peninsula's southern half, shares one of the world's most heavily militarized borders with North Korea. It is also recognized for its coastal fishing villages, subtropical islands, and high-tech metropolis like Seoul, the capital. The current president of South Korea is President Moon Jae-in. Religions in South Korea. South Korean religion is diverse. A small majority of South Koreans are atheists. The most common confessions among individuals who belong to a formal religion are Buddhism and Christianity. The most prominent religions in the lives of South Koreans are Buddhism and Confucianism. Buddhism, which came to the country in 372 AD, has tens of thousands of temples around the country.
According to Pew Research Center or PRC of 2010, about 46% of the population has no religious affiliation, 23% are Buddhists, and 29% are Christians. According to the 2015 National Census, 56.1% of the population is irreligious. Protestantism accounts for 19.7% of the total population, Korean Buddhism for 15.5%, and Catholicism for 29% or 7.9%. Other religions such as Won Buddhism, Confucianism, Cheondoism, Daesunjin Riho, Islam, Daejeongism, Jeongsanism, and Orthodox Christianity are practiced by a tiny minority of South Koreans, which is 0.8%. Here's a pie chart showing the different Let us proceed. Instruments in South Korea. Vertical instruments include the piri, danso, and taepyeongso, while transverse flutes include the daegyum and sogyum. Piri. The piri is a double-reed Korean instrument that is utilized in both folk and classical music. The piri was first employed as a musical instrument in the western portion of Korea, and it has been used in Goguryeo and Baekji since the Three States period. It is constructed of a bamboo. So this is how a piri looks like, and this is how it sounds like. Next is danso. In Korean folk music, the danso is a notched and blown vertical bamboo flute, and it is usually made of bamboo, but it has also been produced of plastic since the 20th century. It was brought to the United States from China in the 19th century, where it was known as duanxiao. And here's the picture of a danso. This is how a danso sounds like. Next, taepyeongso. The taepyeongso is a double-reed wind instrument from Korea, similar to Chinese suuna and descended from the Persian sorna. It has a yuha daichu or yellow mulberry wood conical hardwood body with a metal mouthpiece and cup-shaped metal bell. Here is the taepyeongso picture, and this is how it sounds like.
라는 표현을 하고 싶어요. 군중들을 살짝 띄우는.
North Korea. North Korea is a country in East Asia that is officially known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. It occupies the northern half of the Korean peninsula and shares rivers Yalu and Tumen with China and Russia to the north, and the Korean Demilitarized Zone with South Korea to the south. The supreme leader of North Korea is Kim Jong-un. The religions in North Korea is that North Korea is an officially atheist country. North Korea is primarily irreligious, according to estimates from late 1990s and early 2000s, with shamanism and Cheondoism as the dominant religions. Buddhists and Christians live in small communities. Instruments found in North Korea. First is the kayagum. The kayagum, also known as the gayagyum, is a 12-string traditional Korean music instrument that is comparable to the Mongolian yakga and the Chinese gazeng. Kayagum players used to sit crossed legs with the tail of their instrument lying on the floor and the other end on their lap. Here is a picture of a kayagum, and here is a sound of a kayagum. The ajeng is a string instrument from Korea, and it is a large zither with twisted silk strings. It's played with a bow-like slender stick of forsythia wood that's drawn across the strings. In ensemble music, the ajang mostly plays the bass section, and here is an example of how it should sound like. North Korea and South Korea may have differences, but most of them have more similarities. Some of the instruments that are played in South Korea are also known in North Korea. Despite their differences, it only makes each part of Korea unique on its own different way. Once again, my name is Julia Kate Ai Takayama, and this is my report about Korea.